back here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Stu Myrick, as I am anchoring the coverage from Super Bowl 56 Radio Row here in Los Angeles, California. And we are although we're towards the end of football season, we're deep into WrestleMania season. WrestleMania coming up April 2nd and 3rd at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, not Dallas. It's okay. The home, of course, of the Dallas Cowboys. And, of course, we are your home for the Dallas Cowboys. And, they're getting ready for it. But they got Elimination Chamber coming up in a couple of weeks in Saudi Arabia. And one of the men that is going to be instrumental in the build to not only Elimination Chamber but WrestleMania joins me at our broadcast location. He is, and he will easily tell you, a two-time Grand Slam champion. He's held every championship that WWE has. He has a lot of multiple times. He's also been on Dancing with the Stars. He has the reality show with his beautiful wife, Maurice, called Ms. and Mrs. on the USA Network. It is none other than Kevin Dunn's former flatmate, The Miz. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Mike The Miz.
I'll tell you what, back in the Real World days when Kevin was a roommate of mine on the Real World, there was no bigger promoter to Austin, Texas than Kevin. Yeah. Oh, my goodness, he loved that place.
Well,
and I lived there. I moved there for a year. I lived in Westlake.
You did.
And I honestly, everyone said that the weather's amazing out there. Yeah. It's not so much. It's a little humid, and it gets really cold in the winter.
It does. It does. It doesn't get as cold as, say, like Detroit or Cleveland or anything like that.
But it gets so cold that you don't get snow, but it's still cold enough you need a winter jacket.
Exactly. I will ask you this. You did live in Austin for about a year. What was one of your favorite things about living in Austin?
Favorite things would be we would go up to this outdoor kind of mall up north a little bit. I can't remember.
Domain.
That's it. We would go to the Domain, and honestly, my daughter was just born. She was about a year old, and so we would just walk up there and just kind of coast. And the people are absolutely friendly in Austin. Yeah. They're very, very friendly. I loved going to the race. At the circuit of the Stars?
Americas.
Yeah, Circuit of the Americas.
The United States Grand Prix.
Man,
that was there a couple years ago.
I loved going to that. I thought that was really, really cool. And man, was it an up and coming city. I liked the look of the airport. I wish the airport was more direct flights.
Yes.
I think it's a big enough city now to where it should have direct flights everywhere. When I wanted to go to New Orleans, I had to take a flight to Dallas or Houston. If I'm in Austin, give me my direct flights.
The old saying has always been, and they're getting better, but the old saying was, even when you die, whether you go to heaven or hell, you got to connect in Dallas. So, so I feel you. Before we get to the wrestling, before we get to WWE, you are a big fantasy football guy as well. In fact, I think you do like a podcast or something. You do some stuff.
I used to have a radio show, but I do a lot of charity work actually for Connor's Cure. Like we'll do this NFFC, fantasy football league where we'll raise money for whatever we win. We basically give to Connor's Cure, which is for pediatric cancer. And so, I have a blast. I'm in 6 leagues. This year, Stafford really helped me out, as well as Jonathan Taylor. I wish I would have kept Rashad Penny. I drafted him, and then I let him go because he wasn't doing anything, and then he probably would have won me my season if I kept him.
Yeah, that seems to be the way. I don't do fantasy football just because I can't be living and dying by that. It drives me.
It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of work.
Right.
If you want to be good.
Exactly. Of course, the Wagner Wire. Wags, our man, talks all fantasy football on Sundays. So let's get to WWE. All right. So, we saw it on Raw. You're picking with the Mysterios. The line about Dominic being taller, and you had to say, are you sure you're not Eddie's son? Dude, really?
Really?
15 years, we still can't get away from it.
Still can't get away from it. Honestly, I look at Rey Mysterio as a WWE legend, but the thing that aggravates me is that, he's always a person that is cheered no matter what he does.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like he could do an underhanded tactic, and people will applaud it.
Yeah.
If I do it, I'm called a cheater. I'm called a liar. I'm called a jerk. I'm called a mean guy. Like, why are certain people allowed to get away with things and others aren't? It's just not fair.
Well, and to be fair though, I mean, you didn't, the Royal Rumble match with
Sure.
you and Maurice against Edge and Beth Phoenix, which was a fun match, and I got whatever the outcome.
I had a blast doing it with my wife. Like, I got to have
Absolutely.
a tag team match, get to watch her do things I've never expected her to do. Like, when she got on the top rope, I went, wait, what are you doing up there,
Yeah.
dear?
Yeah.
And then she did a
absolutely.
Hurricane Edge. I was like, there you go.
And you didn't. I mean, you kind of played it straight, but let's be honest, Maurice, that purse was a little loaded when it came across.
1,000% it was loaded. We're going for a win. Whenever you get in the ring with The Miz, you should know what to expect.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I totally get that. So let's talk first Elimination Chamber coming up
Sure.
on February 19th, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. They've got the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. Bobby Lashley defending there. The shows in Saudi Arabia, and whatever views they may have it, these things are massive,
Huge.
massive. There's massive crowds there. The people in Saudi Arabia, they're just hungry for this action. And I know you've been there, right, a couple times. So talk about that atmosphere of just having one of these big cards in Saudi Arabia in front of that crowd, those massive stadiums there in Saudi Arabia.
There's nothing quite like WrestleMania, but with the stadium feel is just a different energy. It's just different than anything that you could ever experience. And to be able to have another, not just WrestleMania, but another stadium feel type of event, be worldwide, by the way. That's the thing I love about WWE most is it's not just America.
Right.
It's not just, Canada or South America. It's everywhere. We are worldwide, and we put on big, huge shows. And one of those huge shows is going to be streaming live on Peacock, and that's the Elimination Chamber. Right now, I don't have a match, but who knows what's going to happen in the next week. We are on the road to WrestleMania. Everyone's putting their A game on because we all want to get ready for April 2nd and April 3rd at Jerry World in Arlington, Texas, at the stadium, because we want to get ready for our Super Bowl, our World Series, our NBA Finals, which is WrestleMania.
So, and you were part of WrestleMania when the last time it was at Jerry World, WrestleMania 32 in 2016. So talk about, and you've wrestled every arena from small arenas to the big stadiums. AT&T Stadium, Jerry World is probably one of the biggest.
And gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
More and more
but
gorgeous.
Talk for a second about, the acoustics and the sound kind of, it almost dissipates a little bit, but you still get that, I guess, that sense just because of the nearly 100,000 people that are going to be in those stands to see you guys ply your craft there in AT&T Stadium. Talk for a second about wrestling in a stadium like Jerry World.
One of the arts that we do as WWE superstars is we listen, we hear. And so a vital part of our show is the audience. They boo who they hate, they cheer who they love. When they hear it, when they see a specific move, they'll erupt.
Yeah.
And, I'm listening in that ring to hearing what they're doing. But when you're in a stadium setting, it literally, when you hear it come out of their mouth, it has to hit the top of the stadium and then come all the way down. And if it's an airplane, like if it's a place that doesn't have like a dome, like it takes a while for you to actually hear what is happening. Like it just takes a moment, and it's crazy. It's hard to explain, but in arenas, it's right up front because arenas are 10,000, 15,000. In stadiums, we're talking about 60, 70, 80,000. In Jerry World, by the way, 100,000.
Right.
100,000 people. And so it takes a while for you to actually hear that huge kaboom of eruption from an audience.
Yeah, absolutely. WrestleMania 38, April 2nd, April 3rd from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. The event will stream live in the U.S. exclusively on Peacock. Tickets are on sale now. Ticketmaster, all the different ticket outlets. Before I let you go, I want to ask you about, you have had such a successful career in WWE, and you've been relatively really healthy. You had the one injury about a year or so ago.
Tore my MCL,
yeah. But
I still was on air, by the way.
Right, you were doing the stuff, and it was really cool. What do you attribute that to? Your not only your longevity, but your endurance in performing. 3, 4, 5 nights a week for all these years in WWE?
I think it's my. You know what it is? It's basically like I make sure that my body is ready. When I know that I'm working out too hard, I slow down. When I'm not working enough, I speed it up. Like you have to know your body and know its limits. Yeah. And sometimes people don't know their limits and they just want to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And once you get bigger and bigger, that's just the harder you fall.
Yeah.
You know, so I always make sure that my body is in A1 shape. I always make sure that I'm managing it, eating the right foods, working out, working on my cardio, and then also working and watching and seeing what other people are doing to make sure that I'm always evolving and keeping up with the times.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. He is the Miz. He is awesome. Before I let you go, I want to ask you a favor. Since you're sitting there, I'd love for you if you would do a reader for the show.
Sure.
Here's the text. Do with it however you see fit. Name of the show, Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Whenever you're ready.
What's up? It's the most must-see WWE superstar of all time, The Miz, and you're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, and you know it's awesome!
One take Miz.
One take wonder. That's how it's done.
He is the Miz. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Mike the Miz. Catch him Monday nights on Raw, on the USA Network after the Winter Olympics, and of course, hopefully see it Elimination Chamber and of course WrestleMania. Miz, thank you so much, my friend.
Appreciate it, man.